And that one is what takes Ruto down to the grave. That one sends Ruto down to the grave and is judged. Now, interestingly, worryingly, disappointedly, shockingly, is that when Ruto is being whipped out of power by God, one Raila Odinga angles himself to become Ruto's helper. Someone tell Jacob, you don't have medicine for Ruto. Someone tell Raila Odinga firmly and boldly, he is not the medicine for Ruto. And God feels betrayed. Raila is betraying the holy cause of God. And Ruto finishes badly, and if that's the bandwagon Raila has chosen, you are also going to finish badly. Anything that is a Raila-Ruto bromance is a bad omen. Now, that is what I maintain. It is a bad omen because everything I've been saying to this nation has always come to pass. And I see things and I hear God. And Raila affinity with Ruto spells disaster for the nation. And I say who unto Kenyans because Ruto exits power. Who takes it from him? Because he's not a Shagwa. God is not drunk. God never takes opium. Jehovah God never smokes and he never drinks. He never gets unwell. He won't remove Ruto and replace him with another shadow of Ruto. Because Raila is simply getting into being a shadow of Ruto. And that is why I pity Raila. When it was known that Raila is the one who should be sitting on the throne, there is a vision that was shared on this altar. A vision where Ruto appeared to be wearing big shoes that don't fit his feet. So you can imagine you have a toddler in your house. He goes out there and takes daddy's shoes on the door. Then he says, Baba, 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 Baba. So you wear shoes. You are a toddler. A toddler's feet could be how many inches? 6 inches. And Baba's shoes, daddy's shoes. All of us know number 12. That will be how many inches? 30 centimeters divided by how many inches? So assume your feet or 1 rough feet. So you take a small toddler's feet, put it on, to put the shoes. So that's a vision that was seen of one Ruto trying to wear Baba's shoes, daddy's big shoes. And you cannot go anywhere with those shoes. You can just play around there, mimic daddy, how daddy walks. And that's the farthest you can go. Maybe in the sitting room or just there in the veranda. You cannot go with it anywhere. Today, the vision has come to pass. Ruto did not go anywhere. Because he was not wearing the shoes that belongs to him. The owner of the shoes should wear his shoes. But the process by which Raila wants to wear his shoes is not godly. Because the angels of God were dispatched at State House to strike and to wipe and to afflict State House plus the occupants. And so Ruto should vacate. And he was to vacate. God says, Ruto, leave. Now look at Raila Odinga. I wonder even he knows that his shoes are the shoes that someone was wearing. Second vision was actually revealed. The vision of the Lord. Where Ruto wears Azimio's uniform. That was 2 years ago. Ruto wearing Azimio's colors of, identification colors. Yet he's on the throne, but wearing a uniform that isn't his. Meaning that the election was not Ruto's the victory was not Ruto's. He was not genuinely in the office. It was not for him. It was never his. So he only played to try to maintain it. Thank God that it is now confirmed. All the things I've been saying. He was in the office and on the seat that was not his. Then he has been eating what was not his. That is called stealing. That is called thuggery. That is called criminality. If I say Ruto is a criminal, spiritually and physically he is. But now tragic is this. When I say that, Raila, prepare, you shall have it back to you. Ruto runs quickly. Fools the man. And the man gets fooled. And come and help me. This thing that was yours, I was acting on it. Come and help me sustain it. Someone tell Raila Odinga, pull out and pull back. Let the man fall. Because God ordained Ruto for a fall. Let him fall. The falling of Ruto will be a justification of what God has been saying all along. He was not in it by the will of God. Now when he's falling, the very person that should actually validly, genuinely, God-willingly sit in that office is the one going to help the criminal from falling. Someone, if you've never seen witchcraft, there it is. If you come from where I come from, irundi mara dear. What was yours? You should now be angling yourself for a better process that will justify you taking over. But now he goes, try to help someone that God is chastising. When God punishes, when God disciplines someone, God does not expect anybody to help him. And that's why it matters. What are your foundations? Who taught you the Bible? Who is your father? There are things that are a matter of basic knowledge. When God chooses to afflict a people or a person, keep off. And that's why I keep off even from pastors who are afflicted. Churches that are afflicted. So the leaders are afflicted. No MCA, no governor, no senator, no CS, no parliamentarian, no PS, no CS. No one shall escape the affliction of God who has been under this regime called Kenya Kwanza. They are all a judgment lot. Watakikula na itawaramba. Someone tell them, they may seek immunity from the devil. Devil is an angel, fallen for that matter. He does not have medicine. He is also afraid, waiting for his judgment. Go hide in him. You actually have entered doom. So how does Raila Odinga get himself to try to help someone that God is beating? What I know is that when you get on the Lord's path, the same strokes shall land on you. The same strokes will land on you. And so Raila Odinga does not have, as long as he's actually united with Ruto, there is no remedy for Kenya. God's course of chastisement will continue. The spirit of burning and the wrath of God that has been devouring Kenya is still continuing. Expect more mandamanos. Expect more burnings. Expect more chaos. Expect a lot of dissatisfaction. Expect much more than you had seen before. And that's how Raila will actually finish badly. And because there will be no solution, I told you, The vision I said at the time. What I saw on the August of 2022, when Ruto was being sworn in, is what I see coming to repeat itself. That when a transition authority or a council of transition authority is put into place, eventually they'll want to, upon them setting structures, they'll want to return power to the civilian. And who was better placed than one Raila Amolo Odinga? So that is given to him justifiably. That's the vision we saw. Raila being sworn in again. A swearing in again. It won't be 2020. It will not be 2027. It was not to be so. Because 2027, there is no election. There is no election 2027. And so the way things are now going to get worse, because Kenyans are losing confidence in Raila Odinga. And it is becoming so because Satan is also in the matrix. Ruto is falling, so you're like, Ndanguka na nani, with whom will I fall? Whom can I give this thing? I said, Ruto, fix your house in order. Fix your house in order. I said it. And the Bible tells us of a man, who worked with a servant, who, when he discovered that he was going to be fired, he decided to make friendship and seek favors with people in the hope of getting safety net. So he'll be like, how much do you owe the king? This man, oh, don't pay that 800,000. Pay 100. How much do you owe the king? I owe the king 50,000. You pay 5,000. Be my friend. How much do you owe the king? I owe the king 20. He said, you shall pay 2,000. Make me your friend, because he knew that he was going to be fired. In other words, a servant who was going to be fired was making a provision for his exit, for a soft landing. The Bible calls him a shrewd servant. Ruto should have also prepared his exit, because Ruto, with your state house, listen well. I'm a prophet of God. My eyes are bright. You are going home. And this is not tribal, because Gen Z are not tribal. So am I not? I'm not. Raila, is he not Luo? Musala, is he not Luya? That outfit, all of you, you are going home because God has revealed that to me. So will I be risen up by, will Luya land mob up themselves against me? And will Kikuyu mob up against me? And will Luos also mob up against me? Will Kalenjin nation mob themselves up against me? Listen, it's not about tribes. This is Kenya. And I am a servant of God. Mine is to speak the truth and the mind of God. Peradventure, I saved some people. Ruto goes home. And I told you, Ruto, in time, set your house in order. Now, Ruto is trying to set his house in order by ceding power to Raila Odinga cleverly. I told you, Ruto is tired. All his tricks have failed. All his magics have failed. There is no an iota of wisdom remaining. Everything God frustrates. He comes out with something, God says. He comes out with an idea, God. He tries to put up something, God scatters. And that is what God will continue to do with Raila Odinga in his bromance with Ruto. Anything minus God can only attract God's judgment. Proverbs chapter number 3, verses number 5. Bible says that you do what? That you trust in the Lord. Trust the Lord with all your heart. Do not lean unto your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge God. Then it shall be your guide in all that you do. That's Proverbs 3, verse number 5, quotation. I quote King James Version. So you see here, Raila Odinga has thrown away the Bible. I think he's using Gazette. Kama si Kenya Times, maybe Citizen. That does not tell him anything that is current. I don't think he has any prophet that will tell him, please, here Onyango, this man is prayed for you. I prayed for Raila Odinga from those years back then because God revealed to me. He's a political hinge. He's a midwife in Kenya's politics and leadership. The worst tragedy now is that the same Raila Odinga is bewitched. And alas, indeed, truly, who has bewitched you? So, Ruto is ceding power. I said that one when I shared that prophecy of vision, I think last Sunday. That Ruto is ceding power. The word cede means give it away. He has known that everything now slides. It's slippery all over. State House is inhabitable. I say that he won't step in Mount Kenya. He will not be welcomed. He won't step in Rift Valley. He won't be welcomed. And he won't want to be on the streets. He won't be welcomed because he has become detestable. Even to mention his name can bring you trouble. That's a prophecy I shared. That to mention the name Ruto, and what a tragedy for those who will give birth and call their children Ruto, meaning, not really want to, calling them Ruto innocently. But then in the masses out there, they'll be like, are you an incarnation of the Ruto, who was actually, disaster, Ruto disaster? Because the name Ruto will be detestable among us Kenyans for a long time. So if you'll be like, want to be associated with him, you'll cause trouble. So he knows he's going out. He's trying to fix things up. And I wonder, he attends some churches, then he tells people, things will be all right. Things will be all right. It is called vain confidence. Things will be all right by whose strength? Ruto. Government will be in place by whose power? There will be no formation of government. Niliwaambia. Okota CSS from places. It will not patch up. And unfortunately, Raila, who was not to fall, has entered a bandwagon of those who are falling. You shall fall with them all together. I am on the Lord's side. I'm never on any. Where God is where I am. And so Raila has actually assumed the character of a warthog, Ngiri. Make sure your ears don't hear anything and forget quickly that which you had. Oh, Raila Jadung, we will like Ngiri. You see, I have to speak like the way God wants to speak. So if I know God's mood, you can tell from the way I bring it. We will Kanjiri. He is so forgetful that I said that the police who shed Kenyans' blood, there was a bloodbath sometime, was it last year, in Kibera. There was some bloodbath in Kibera. We had a bloodbath also in Madare. We had bloodbath also in Korogosho. There were bloodbath, and Kenya's policemen are very good in butchering. And I'm glad that Koome has actually resigned, but I don't think he resigned. I think Ruto told him, "Hey, tumaua ya kutosha. We jamaa, ebu kaa kando kidogo. Poeshe hii maneno." All of us know that Koome wouldn't have resigned on his own. Ama mnaonaje? Nyinyi hamuoni, mimi ndo naona, so please sikia mimi. Bwana asifiwe. We prophets, our material and our food is different. So we don't hatutafuti maoni ya watu. But by the time Koome is resigning, or is forced actually to resign, how much drams of blood you've shed? How many volumes of blood you've shed? Koome, God is judging you. Under your watch, we have seen the innocent die. So I said that Kenya's policemen also, you will also die by bullets, by blood, by swords. God is the avenger. Now, people who were slaughtered, who died, they did not die just for the sake. They were on Raila Odinga's side. Nyalenda, Kondele, Nyawita, Homa Bay, Migori, Kisii, and Nairobi, Nakuru, as well as Mombasa. Those were Raila Odinga's foot soldiers. They had seen the light, and they also knew that Raila Odinga, carries aspirations born of God. So to them, Raila Odinga was their hope. Now, the man that people died for is going to eat with the enemy. Who is a traitor? See it for yourself. And this is just more than being a traitor. This is dummy. This is more than foolish. And that's where he goes. Ask Raila Odinga, did people die on the street because of you? Why are there no houses that were widowed? Are there no houses that children are rendered orphans? Are there no women or men that today are childrenless because their children died in the army of Raila Odinga, championing for a cause that God bestowed on Raila Odinga? Then Raila Odinga turns his back quickly and goes to dine on the table, and he feigns ignorance of the people whose blood is crying for justice. If Raila would have cared to hear me, you'll have gotten my counsel of what God's mind is. He refused. So number one, I stopped prayers for Raila Odinga. I stopped prayers for Raila Odinga. Just like I said, I'm not praying for Ruto. So, and Ruto's regime, if there's something I pray, Kwamba Baba, will you bring another Cain? So that's why I always announce plague and their numbers. So Raila has betrayed the cause. So if there was something you'll have asked me, I cancelled him. I will have told him about the blood of the innocent that is crying on the Kenya's land. If Ruto will have sought God again, I'll have told him, well, the same thing. Do something about the blood of souls that died under your regime. During the post-elections violence in Rift Valley, Kibaki and Ruto and Raila never sorted the needs of families that lost their loved ones. We are in a nation, we are in a land, we are in a county, a place, Eldoret, where the blood of those who died is still piecing, never been appeased. Raila got himself into being a prime minister. Ruto, then Uhuru and Ruto gets into pairing up, and people died again. And Rift Valley, blood was shed. Nairobi, the same. Nyanza, the same. Those people who died, Uhuru never did anything about them. They will only focus on their Hague thing, that blood still crying on the ground. Now, then Ruto, Raila gets into bandwagon with Ruto, and Raila forgets about the blood that was shed. God is very patient. If it was me, you can imagine for yourself what I'll have done for this man. I wouldn't have spared any of them. I will have judged them from heaven with instant destruction. But thank God, I'm just but a prophet. I don't have that power. God is the one who decides. But if I was, and if you think I'm very bad, please think of a prophet called Jonah. He even said, God, I thought you'll destroy Nineveh. God did not destroy it. So God is very patient. But people mistake God's patience to be weakness. Right now, Raila Odinga has forgotten those who labored, and they're even telling him, Baba, don't go that direction. He's not going, he's not heading for council. And you know what? Raila wants to shield the looters. Raila should ask Ruto, now that the CSS are out, and then Ruto says that they were corrupt, has Ruto become the anti-corruption czar? Ruto knows he's going out and is trying to save a name. All those CSS, even if Ruto will not prosecute them or take them to committee, God in heaven will pursue them with affliction. You have looted the nation, then you think you'll go scot-free.
Ya, umesikia kutoka kwa kinywa cha mtumishi wa Mungu akitaja tu zile blanda ambazo Raila Odinga anafanya kujaribu kumtetea Rais William Samoei Ruto, na kusema kwamba hiyo itakuwa mwisho wa Raila na Ruto kuanguka wote pamoja, na akaweza kutaja mambo mengi pale alivyokuwa akimjaribu kumadvise Raila Odinga njia ambazo Raila anafaa afuate, na pia akasema kwamba wale watumishi ambazo William Samoei Ruto amekuwa akiwaleta nchini, akijaribu tu kuongea kuhusiana na kina Ben Hinn na mapasta wengine ambao wanatumika kuharibu huduma wa Mwenyezi Mungu, yani wale prophets of dooms, yani ndio mtumishi anajaribu kuongelea pale. So sijui una maoni gani kuhusiana na prophecy ya huyu mchungaji? Kama uko na maoni niachie hapo kwenye comment section. Kama hujasubscribe kwa Wasos TV na kuomba uweze kusubscribe. Kama huja like na kuomba like, na nitakuwa nashukuru kwa sana. Asante sana kwa kutazama Wasos TV. Hadi wakati mwingine, asante sana na uwe na siku njema.